I almost just had a heart attack. I tried to get the next audio recording set up, and you probably don't know, but there's a little file button up there at the top of Audacity. You're like, click that. Oh, cool. And then go to open, or like go to a new one, so it opens up new. But right next to that's the edit, and at the top of the edit is undo. And I accidentally wiggled and fliggled the mouse a little bit. That sounds racist. I maneuvered the mouse in the wrong way a little bit. I hit undo, and it deleted all of the audio for Steins Gate. I almost just lost my entire mind. The entirety of my mind was gone. Out the window. To the moon. Bang, zoom, zip. There's a redo button, so I fixed it. But oh my god, I almost lost my mind. So now let's prepare to lose my mind over something else. Hey, hi-ho, and howdy everyone. My name is Shannon O'Shug, and welcome yet again to another episode of ReZero. But not just any episode, it is the finale of ReZero, which is insane. Again, I've talked about this before. ReZero has been going on way the longest out of any of the series, and out of any of the anime series we've been doing. Like, even Darling in the Franxx, which was the other really big, long one, the other, like, 2-core show, didn't take this long. And it's because ReZero kept always getting pushed to the back. It was always the one that missed recordings and wasn't able to do things like that. And I don't know, and it makes me real sad looking back on it now, because, again, I had a really difficult time getting through the first chunk of the show. I've mentioned it to hell and back. But I really do love it at this point. And I don't know, it's weird going back and thinking back on how much of the show I did have problems with. Again, never because of quality, but because I'm a fragile, weak baby boy. And thinking about how I feel about it now. And again, it's really interesting. And it's scary. Because we're down to the finale. And I don't know what that's going to do to me emotionally. Hopefully, please, dear God, don't make me cry. I've done enough of that for a minute, and Lord knows it'll come back very, very soon. So, yeah, for me, I am hopeful, but I am potentially concerned. I have a very poor history with finales, and by that I mean I bawl my eyes out constantly. I think I'm running a whole 2 series that I've gone through so far where I didn't weep for almost the entirety of the episode. So that's great. Again, I am going into this knowing that there is potential for more stuff as we go along. But I don't know, man. I'm just really hoping for the best, and I really hope the show doesn't sneak attack me with some evil right there towards the end. Please, God, don't do that to me. Anyway, before we get into it, I do want to give another big thank you to everyone who voted in the most recent polls that we did. The one about our subscriber special for 300 officially wrapped up, and I will be deciding on how I'm going to handle Makia here pretty soon, and hopefully I'll get to it next week, and then it will be up at some point after that. I'm excited, because that I know I'm going to cry at. And if No Game Zero is any sign, I will cry through the entirety of the fucking movie. Anyway, so that's something. The poll for deciding future subspecials is still going on. So if you guys would like to, feel free to drop a vote in on those. It's not those, there's only one of them. Yeah, so there's those. I don't have much else to say other than, thank you, guys, for sticking with me on the series, and for everyone who joined in like halfway through or whatever because of episodes like 15 and 18 and stuff. And just, I don't know, I really appreciate your guys' support and for putting up with my issues and, just everything that happened throughout the series, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what to say much more than that other than I appreciate you and I love you, and can you tell that I'm trying to buy time? Anyway, what happened in the last episode? Well, at the very end of the episode before last episode, the boy got. Again, always great. And by that, I mean I'm lying, being facetious. It's never great. When has it ever been great? Except for maybe that one time when he jumped. He was like, yo, I'm going to die and then come back so I can save the day. So he did that one on purpose. But other than that, it's not a good time. But you know, that happened, and then he and everyone pretty much went into fucking kick-ass mode and was like, yeah, no, we ain't doing this shit no more. Fuck you, Sloth Boy. And now him and the man's Julius are hopefully gonna whoop his ass. And hopefully no one else will die. Please, dear God, no one else die. Yeah. And we evacuated the manor. Beatrice is still there because she don't give a fuck. But we got Emilia and the muffins and Ram out. And that's what truly matters. And I still don't remember where the fuck Roswell is, but he's out there somewhere. Hopefully doing good shit. I don't know. I still don't trust him. Anyway. Yeah. We're going to do this. I have along with the history of always crying in finales, I tend to have a history of never having anything good to say at the end. Not like, I hate this, but like, you guys know how bad my outros are already, but they're way worse on finales. And I'm like, I'll get to it in a final thoughts video. And those final thoughts videos never come because I want to do something cool with them and then I just forget to. Or I just don't have time to because I have an entire life to live. It's a thing. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I will try and give my opinions as best I can. Again, it's really going to come down to if I'm bawling my eyes out or not. So anyway, I've talked enough. We're going to jump into this. ReZero, storing life in another world from zero. Damn. 25. That's all this story is about. Which I know is a damn lie, by the way, because again, there's a lot more to go. I know that much. You can't lie to me, show. Season 2, come on. Unless you hurt my feelings, in which case, don't you dare give me a season. Anyway, we're gonna get started here. In 3, 2, 1, go. The muffins. I love them. If you stay very careful and live always and forever. Same goes for you, old man. No. Oh. And no intro. Because of course, why would there be an intro? Careful, my dude. You don't get to talk about any bullshit about tricks when you have magic invisible hands. That's not okay. Get fucked, dude. It's a hell of an arm. That's what it is. Huh. Can't say I really considered that. Oh, you're so fucked, dude. God damn. I didn't fully catch it either. If that, if her VA was the same as, Emilia. Damn. But just something I was considering because, you know, often those two get brought together or mentioned. I don't like that. I don't like when there's problems. We just solved a problem. Don't have another one. Just bullshit. Lay it on us, boy. What you got? No one die, please. God damn. The fuck does that mean? Why is it always something? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Dude's a fucking boss. Oh. Some punk ass. My dude. Yes, please. Be gone. Come not again. Fuck. Damn right. What are you doing, my dude? They sprung a lot of shit on you. It's real fucking cute. Damn right. Oh, Subaru, you're such a fucking cheeseball. I could have been a lot worse tears-wise. I definitely could have been a lot worse. This does still get me, though. Aww. Emilia is such a fucking sweetheart, too. Thank you, fuck, for giving me a happy ending to this. Jesus Christ. It hurt. So many moments hurt, but they're worth it. Again, it's something that got brought up a bit in the comments a while back. I think it was probably around episode 15 even. But this show has incredible highs and it has incredible lows. And that's one of the things, too, is I've become acutely aware more and more as I go along through watching stuff that it's those lows that make you feel those highs. And it's those highs that make those lows have as much impact as they do. I can think of a good few shows out there that a lot of it comes... You fall in love with those characters and then it hits you afterwards with something tragic or something difficult or something painful, and that's what makes that pain hurt so much more. Or it's you experience those dark and tragic times, and that's what makes those moments like that, like the moments in episode 18, it makes those things stand out so much more and it makes it feel all worth it. And again, I've mentioned 100 times over, this show was a really difficult watch for me at a lot of points, especially earlier on. It wasn't until like just before or right around the fucking fight with the whale. I would say, again, I'd say probably episode 18 was the big one, was probably the turning point, really. But yeah, like, there was a lot of moments that was really difficult for me to get through, whether it's just because I have a weak stomach or just constantly my fear and being worried. Like, again, if you've paid attention to other series on the channel, I sometimes just get filled with complete existential fucking dread all the time. I don't know. It's really easy to get bogged down in worries and fears. And again, to a certain extent, that's a nice thing because, again, it makes those moments when you're surprised and happy really stand out. And again, there was a lot of moments in this show that I think really did stand out as something really great and beautiful. I would watch that whole show over again to watch episode 18. I watched probably for episode 15 as well because there's a lot of really good moments in that as well, even if it made me want to jump out of a fucking window. Yeah, but I would do that again for that episode, and I would argue probably for this one as well. Because for all that did for Rem for me, this was really nice to have for Emilia, and I really do appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know if there's an insane much more amount that I'll be able to say about it. So I'll probably try and finish up my thoughts as best I can here. I'm really glad that I stuck with it. I always appreciated the quality of the show. There was never a point where I was like, oh, well, this could have used a bunch of improvement. No, I thought it was always really well done. It's just I had moments that were difficult for me to handle because, again, I'm weak. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really glad I stuck with it, and I really, really dig it, and I'm looking forward to potentially getting to see more of it in the future. Whether it be in OVA or they manages to get a second season here eventually, hopefully. That would be very nice to see. Yeah, I don't know. I would very much like to see the series continue. Really, that's the best I can say right at the moment. As for usually when I do my final thoughts, and again, I won't make any commitment to doing a video on it because I will continue to mess it up. I didn't do a video on literally my favorite show, so you know what? It's here we are. For me, I'm trying to think back on what I would consider my favorite or least favorite episodes. As far as the least favorite, I don't think I can really point out to one in particular. Because again, it is a very, very well done show. Even the moments that bothered me were still very well done. And I don't think I can point one out. As for my personal favorites, that, I mean, gets easier to point out because I can at least label some, like name some out, but deciding on which ones, I think I do know one of my favorite, and it probably won't be a surprise. It probably would have to go to episode 18, though this one is a pretty strong contender for that ending half. Yeah, I would have to give it to 18. But then I'd probably have like 11 or 15, just a little behind that. Not 100% sure where I would put this, but I know it would be very high on the list. And as you know, I like to do, you gotta give some best girl love. But that's the thing, is this show is really interesting too, is because again, it is one of those shows. It's the classic waifu war. It's the fight, Emilia versus Rem. And I mean, y'all know my opinion on which one I personally do prefer. I do really adore Rem. I don't know, for whatever reason, she was the reason I wanted to get into watching the show, and I wanted to see what it was all about. I wanted to see why everyone fell in love with her as much as they did. And I got to see why, and I agree 110%. She might not be my favorite of all time, but she is in the top 3, and for very, very good reason. But again, I made it very clear, at least I hope I did, that was never meant to take away from Emilia, because, I mean, people who are there from the beginning will know that Emilia was, you know, my favorite for a while. I really, really like Emilia. She's great. She's a sweetheart. She's strong. She's caring. Like, again, both of those characters are very caring, strong, driven people who are also total badasses sometimes. And I don't know. I really appreciate it. And I want to give a shout out to, I was going to say just to their VAs, but that's not true, because again, there was a lot of great VA work in this. Again, I adore Inoue Say in most anything she's in, and Rem was no different. And she's definitely my favorite version, or my favorite character of hers by far. And I'm really glad that we're going into Konosuba right after this, Konosuba Season 2, because that'll mean I don't have to fully say goodbye to Emilia's VA either, so that'll be nice. She's my favorite character in that show, so it'll be great. Yeah, and again, the other two I would definitely have to really give it up to would be Subaru's VA and the man's himself, the Slothmaster General, Betelgeuse. That motherfucker is disgustingly talented. and he fucking ran with it in this one. And again, it's been such a weird thing, because again, I've followed him. I've known of him pretty much since I first got back into anime a couple years back, because he was the, you know, MC in my favorite fucking show until just recently, in Sakura. So, you know, I've been listening to him for freaking forever and falling in love with his voice. And now going on to watch him do this, also while watching Psychono, where he plays a just slightly different kind of character. I don't know. It's been entertaining. Again, I hate that fucking character. Not as a character, but as a person. But he did a great job, and I think Betelgeuse made a very good antagonist, even if I fucking hated every second he was on screen. Again, not a dig at the character, dig at the person. Yeah, no. I don't know, man. I really did like it, and I'm really glad I stuck around. As for a final rating, I don't know. I can almost guarantee it's a 9.5 for me. The problem is I don't know if I can commit to saying it's like a 10 or it's my favorite of all time or anything like that. Definitely commit to it not being that. But it's difficult for me to decide fully where I land on it. I think me going through a rewatch is definitely going to help me, iron out my opinions on that. Yeah, so I'll have to think about that a bit more, but yeah. Regardless of where the show ends up, Emilia and Rem will continue to hold a place forever in my fucking heart and soul. And everyone else too. Felt and fucking Felix, you ear-nibbling, make me question everything about myself kind of individual. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it, so I guess the best I can say is thank you for everyone who stuck around through the whole series and for who's just dropping in now, because that's a lot of the way it tends to be, is a lot of people drop in on the last episode and then they're like, oh, hey, the whole series, they're cool, I can binge it and shit like that. Yeah, I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who stopped in, who watched it, who watched the series, who supported me, who put up with my really problematic release schedule for a lot of the first half of this show. And, yeah, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and making it worth it. So, yeah. As I mentioned before, we're going to be starting Konosuba Season 2 very shortly. I don't know if it'll be next week or it will be the week afterwards. I used to be like, well, we're always going to take a break after we finish the series. And then I did that once, and then we haven't done it since. So, I don't know. We might be starting what the fuck? I can't word. Konosuba Season 2 next week, or we'll be starting it the week after that. Again, Makia is something I will hopefully be recording next week. Don't know when it'll be coming out, but that's the hope and the plan. And, yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I guess that's all this story's about. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed anywhere near as much as I did. And until next time, whatever that happens to be, toodles, doodles, and lemons, everybody. Bye-bye.